no matter how much you train. There's only so much you can really know about an ultramarathon until you've been there. But it's impossible to fully understand just how painful and difficult it's going to be until you actually just start running those miles. So how can we fully prepare for something that we can't fully comprehend? That's the question that I'm going to tackle in today's video, because I had to learn this lesson the hard way. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Alexander Tucker, an ultra runner and coach. I have run a lot of ultra distance races over the years, dozens of all distances ranging from 50Ks to hundreds to stage runs all over the world. In this video, I'm going to share everything that I wish I knew before my first ultra, because there's a lot that you can't know until you've been there. If you are training for your first ultra or will be heading back to the course maybe after a DNF and you got those pre-race butterflies in your stomach, I hope these tips will help you avoid the same mistakes that I made. When you're training for your first ultra, you think you've covered it all. You've planned for your nutrition, your pace, and your gear. You've done the long runs, you've watched the race videos, and you think you're ready. There are things you just can't anticipate, things that hit you in the middle of the race that you couldn't have prepared for until you got into it. And here's the problem. You can't truly know what those things are until you face them. No amount of training can replicate the mental and physical grind of hours on the trail, the brutal fatigue, the unpredictable terrain, the moments of doubt, and most importantly, the intense lows that come and make you question if any of this was even worth it. So how do you prepare for something this unpredictable? Well, the simplest way that I know how is to start with the things that I wish I knew before heading into my first ultra marathon. The first thing that I learned the hard way, that an ultra marathon is about way more than just running. You've got to be ready for everything else, the pacing, the fueling, managing your discomfort, and honestly, problem solving at every single turn. I can tell you there will be stretches in races where you will feel great physically, but mentally you will be spiraling out of control, completely losing it, fighting off sleep or battling self-doubt, trying to stay positive when everything that your body is telling you is to stop. When you are running that long, you've got to be prepared for the off moments, when your body needs to recover from the mental strain. It's not just about your legs, it's about your head and your willpower. Here's another big lesson that I learned early on. You will walk at some point, most likely a lot, and that's perfectly normal. At my first 50K, I thought I'd be running the entire race, never needing to slow down or really hike. I love to hike and I love to run, and I thought they were a different sport. But I could not have been more wrong. I was 5 miles into my race, running up a steep hillside, passing people like crazy, and within 15 miles, I was on the ground and all those same runners were passing by me. Walking doesn't mean failing, it means that you're racing smart. It's learning when to power hike up hills, taking advantage of the times when running just isn't efficient. Train yourself to walk and don't feel guilty when you do. And in fact, plan on it. It will save your legs and keep you from burning out too early. By far, one of the hardest lessons that I learned on my first ultra, your stomach might be your biggest enemy. Truly, your worst nightmare. For nearly every single race that I've ever run, I thought I had my nutrition dialed in, but usually by mile 40, 45, 50, somewhere around there, I can't stomach anything. My legs are usually fine, but my gut, it's turning against me. Oftentimes, it nearly ends my race, but it's something that you can always work through. Sadly, you'll find what works for you on training doesn't always work on race day. So test your nutrition in training and never wait until the race day to figure out what fuels you best. You're gonna wanna experiment with different gels, real food, salty snacks, electrolytes, and different hydration in different weather conditions of all kinds so that you know what to expect. And trust me, your stomach can make or break your race. And next, aid stations are always a welcome sight, but are also a trap. I can't even tell you how many times I've come to an aid station seeing all those snacks, the drinks, and the friendly volunteers, and then getting sucked in by the energy and spending way too much time there, chatting and snacking. And that costs you lots of time, energy, and momentum. Have a plan for your aid stations, every single one of them. Know what you need: water, quick snack, maybe a fresh pair of socks, but don't get sucked in for a long stop. Stay focused on your race and get in and out. And this is one that I'm still trying to tell myself over and over again. Aid stations can be a lifesaver, but be careful. They will eat away at your time. There comes a moment in every ultramarathon where you'll want to quit. For me, it comes when I'm least expecting it. Everything hurts. The fatigue sets in and you start questioning this whole decision to get out on the race course to begin with. Here's the thing that you'll forget. The lows pass. They always do. What helps me get through? just to focus on small goals. Just get to that next aid station, or break it down even smaller. Just make it to that next tree. And sometimes it helps just to walk through the bad moments. Don't panic. Know that it's normal and that the feeling will eventually fade as you keep moving forward. Another lesson that I learned the hard way: gear matters way more than I thought. Blisters early on in a race are a painful reminder that gear isn't always as dialed as you think. Test everything: your shoes, your socks, shorts, and your pack, your bottles, your fueling strategy, in your toughest conditions and on the longest duration possible for your training. Your gear should feel like an extension of your body by race day, not something that you're continuing to adjust throughout the duration of the race. I have a list of my preferred gear listed below, but the best way to find the right gear is to try lots of it, return what doesn't work, and stick with what does. Now, here's another thing that I wish I'd knew sooner: invest in a coach. Look, I get it. As ultra runners, we're used to being self-sufficient. It's one of the reasons why we do this. We pride ourselves on doing things on our own, challenging ourselves with something that we can overcome. But also, sometimes having someone who's been there before can make all the difference. I spent a lot of time figuring out things the hard way, and while the experience was valuable, there's so many moments of pain and difficulty that I could have saved myself by simply having a coach guide me. A coach doesn't just tell you what workouts to do, they help you to develop the mental and physical strategy for your training to get you through to race day. They can keep you on track during the rough moments, and most importantly, they can help you avoid the rookie mistakes that keep you from finishing, which is what the hope is, that we all just finish these races. So whether it's improving your pacing strategy, dialing in your nutrition, or helping you recover after those long training runs, a coach brings a level of knowledge that's hard to replicate on your own. The right coach is someone who knows how to push you at just the right moment without pushing you to injury. For me, hiring a coach was one of the best investments I've made, and one that I wish that I had started with nearly 20 years ago. It's not just about physical performance. It's about having someone in your corner who understands the bigger picture and can help you get across that finish line stronger than you thought possible. And finally, the thing you just don't know until you get there: that the finish line is always worth it. After everything, after all the training, the struggles, and all those low moments, you reach the finish line and the feeling is just indescribable. And it's not just about crossing the finish line, it's about the journey to get there. Every step, every moment, every doubt, every ounce of energy you spent, it all pays off when you finally reach that moment. Crossing the finish line of my first 100 miler at the Vermont 100, I was an emotional wreck. I wasn't fast, it wasn't smooth, and I didn't look good doing it either, but I finished. And regardless of how good or bad any race goes, crossing the finish line always feels the same. That sense of accomplishment and pride is something that you will never forget. So to recap, an ultra is not just about running, it's about everything else too. The nutrition, mental strength, gear, pacing, all of it. Walking is a part of the plan, so just embrace it. Your stomach may be your worst enemy. Test your fuel early and often. Aid stations are vital, but they can waste your time, so be careful. Always expect the lows, they will come, and sometimes frequently, but know that they will pass. Gear matters, just don't skimp on testing it. Coaching is always a worthwhile investment, and the finish line, it's worth every second of the difficulty it takes to get there. So if you are preparing for your first ultra, just remember this: you can do it. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Stay focused, train smart, and enjoy the ride. I believe you got what it takes. If you are heading into your first ultra and are looking for someone in your corner, either as a coach or a support, schedule a call with me using the link in the description below. I'd love to get some time together. And if you have already run your first ultra or are a seasoned runner yourself, drop a comment below and let me know what you wish you knew before your first race. Let's help each other out with this, sharing whatever tips and advice we got. So if you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up by tapping that like button, hit subscribe to follow along for more, and tap the bell button, which gives you updates for more stories of races, adventures, and gear breakdowns. Until next time, train smart and enjoy the adventure. I'll see you out there on the trail. Take care.